Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this free video I'm going to put a few sectors on my watch list, and I'm going to share that with you right now. And anytime I am looking at sectors and I'm looking at broader futures indices, one of the things that I always lament is the fact that a lot of folks don't know there are sector futures. They're just not traded. So until that fateful day that people want to trade the futures on, say, healthcare, until that day happens, I will take the same approach that I use in the broader average index futures, NASDAQ futures, Russell futures, Dow futures, S&P futures, Nikkei futures. I'll apply the same strategy to the ETFs, and to get that leverage, that horsepower, I'll utilize calls and puts. So I have a list right now called the I love to hate list. And these are names that are overall downtrend, weak markets that I want to short on bounces. And so one of them has been crude, and then along with that, the XOP ETF. So crude has a narrative of its own. XOP goes with it. XLE goes with it, as well as some heavily weighted stocks. And it's all predicated on the short that we have on in the crude oil markets. We also are shorting energies like the natural gas. I also am looking at the SMH, again, on the love to hate list. The XRT, which I think is just going to continue to circle the drain, and I will look for opportunities to short not just XRT, but also some of the heavily weighted names here. And I mentioned earlier, or maybe I didn't, HYG. This is a symbol that allows me to take advantage of the downtrend. I think that's forming pretty nicely here. In fact, these were alerts that I sent out earlier this week, and these are part of the group of bonds that I'm looking at. We're long the 10-year, long the 30-year. But two names that I'd like to short from their ETF standpoint is the HYG and the JNK. And I look at the ETFs with good volume and that allow us to trade some structure. So check these out, put them on your list. Check them every day for their structure and for opportunities to short into a bounce. And we'll continue to keep an eye on them. I think they're great ways to look at relative outperformers to the downside. What is weaker than a lot of the market? If you're thinking that there's going to be a rollover Q4, say this year, there are certain places you can start to position yourself in now that could be sort of the leaders in the markets that are already showing the signs of fatigue, and position yourself. So you can listen to a lot of hedge fund managers, and they will tell you that they have made the bulk of their fortunes in downturns. So I think that looking for those particular setups is going to be pretty darn powerful. All right, gang, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you all in the next update.